Are you looking for the best Bluetooth speakers? In this video we will look at some of the 7 best Bluetooth speakers on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Ultimate Ears Wonderboom 3. Among all the speakers I've tested, none have impressed me quite as much as the Wonderboom 3, mainly owing to the quality of sound it's able to produce in such a small package. It's about the size of a small candle and can easily fit into a backpack, carry-on, or even a tote, yet it's loud enough to hear from across my living room all the way into my kitchen. Pairing is simple. All you have to do is hold the pairing button and it shows up in your phone or tablet's Bluetooth menu right away. It will connect immediately when powered back on. You can easily pair 2 Wonderbooms together for a stereo experience with a couple button pushes. At louder levels, usually around 80% or higher, sounds can start to get muddled, especially with genres like hip-hop or metal. I tested with Lil Wayne's The Carter 2 and Lamb of God's Sacrament, and the vocals can drown out instrumentals. It's not enough to detract from how good the Wonderboom sounds, though. When kept below that threshold, songs sound as clear and vibrant as on other UE speakers such as the Boom. As for podcasts and audiobooks, I was able to play those at louder volumes without audio quality suffering, and could hear them over the water running as I washed my dishes. The Wonderboom 3 is larger than the JBL Clip 5, so it's slightly less portable, and its elastic loop is less effective than the Clip 5's metal clasp for attaching it to things, but the speaker also produces clearer sound, likely owing to its larger size. To test its IP67 rating, I dropped the Wonderboom into a pool of water in my sink 3 times while playing music. The music sounded muffled and quite terrible at first, but once the water dripped out, the speaker was back to sounding good as new. You absolutely should not try this, but know that if you're using this as your pool party speaker, it's safe. It has a plastic door that covers the charging port when not in use to prevent water from sneaking in and mucking things up. It's rugged enough to withstand being carried with you on your next vacation or just getting moved from room to room. Number 2. Sony XB100 Compact Bluetooth Speaker. If you want to get a speaker that's affordable and doesn't cut corners on audio quality, Sony's SRS XB100 sounds surprisingly good for costing well under $100. The sound isn't quite as clear at loud volumes as with the Wonderboom, but the Sony has louder bass, which some people may prefer, and it's overall clearer and louder than the JBL Go 4. While listening to Elton John's Madman Across the Water, I found the vocals easy to hear without the instrumentals being drowned out. For hip-hop tracks like Run the Jewels' blockbuster Night PT1, the bass felt punchy without overpowering Killer Mike or LPS vocals, even with the volume turned up while I was running a robot vacuum in another room. While JBL and Logitech use a fabric covering over their speakers, Sony uses a matte plastic finish that's more durable, easy to grip, and pleasant to look at. The speaker comes in 4 colors, including vibrant shades of orange and blue. The speaker has a fabric loop that you can easily attach to a backpack. It also has the longest battery life of any travel-size speaker I've tested, lasting about 13 hours. Number 3. JBL Clip 5. Most of these Bluetooth speakers are portable, but the Clip 5 is the most travel-friendly I've tested thanks to the built-in eponymous clip that lets you attach it to nearly anything, including a bike basket or shower head. The speaker has rubber ribs on the back that allow you to place it on smooth surfaces, without having to worry about it sliding all over the place, helpful since it can't stand upright like the other speakers I've tested. The speaker is waterproof and dustproof, and it can withstand a few knocks against a hard surface. It's easy to underestimate the sound quality of a speaker as small as the Clip 5. In my testing, it managed to sound clear and vibrant even with outdoor sounds like waves and wind in the background. In the shower, podcasts were easy to hear over the water, and I never had to blast it to full volume just to catch what someone said. Over a couple weeks of testing, I've been able to get about 12 hours of battery life out of the Clip 5. And since it uses USB-C for charging, it's more convenient than the Wonderboom 3, which uses the outdated micro-USB standard. My only gripe with the Clip 5 is that, unlike the Clip 4, the buttons for turning the device on and off and pairing to other devices aren't raised buttons. That makes them harder to operate if you can't see them, like when the speaker is clipped behind a shower head. The buttons for play/pause and volume are all raised and are on the front of the speaker, so they're easy to see and access, but I wish that were true of all the buttons. Number 4. JBL Go 4. Although the Clip 5 is a solid portable speaker, JBL's Go 4 is even smaller, and I've found it to be more fun for carrying between rooms when I'm working at home. Its tiny rectangular shape is easy to hold, and it sort of feels like an old-timey radio. One corner has a fabric loop that you can use to attach the speaker to a bag or to dangle it from your finger. The Go 4 is about the size of a deck of cards and as thick as a mass-market paperback, but it packs enough sound to be heard across a room. While music doesn't sound quite as clear on it as on the Clip 5 or Wonderboom 3, podcasts and audiobooks sound as crisp. Given its small size, its battery doesn't last quite as long as those of other small speakers like the Wonderboom, but I've been able to consistently squeeze 7 hours out of this speaker. Number 5. Sonos Move 2. The Sonos Move 2 is the best-sounding Bluetooth speaker I use on a regular basis. It's significantly larger than even the UE Mega Boom, though much smaller than the JBL Boombox, so you probably won't want to take it with you on your weekend getaway, but it's still small enough to carry from room to room, and the built-in handle lets you do so easily. I'm also impressed that, unlike nearly every other speaker I've tested, the Move 2 has a removable battery, which should make it straightforward to replace. While the Move 2 is pricier than similar-size speakers like the JBL Pulse 5, its sound is unmatched. The bass is loud and powerful, vocals sound crisp, and everything sounds clear even at full volume. The Move 2 has all of Sonos's smart features, like multi-speaker pairing and adaptive audio, altering the sound to fit your room, and can easily be controlled and adjusted from within the Sonos app. It also has direct Amazon Alexa integration, so you can use it as your main smart speaker, and AirPlay integration that lets you stream directly from your Apple devices without having to pair over Bluetooth. Given its name, it's no surprise that the Move 2 is so easy to lug around, but its charging method isn't quite as mobile. Instead of using a simple charging cable like most companies, Sonos gave the Move 2 a docking station, which is basically a ring that you plop the bottom of the speaker into when it needs to charge. With an IP rating of IP56, it's not as protected from the elements as the Pulse 5, Mega Boom, or the Roam, but it's still protected from heavy jets of water, so it should be safe from some raindrops, but not from a drop in the pool. Number 6. JBL Pulse 5. No Bluetooth speaker has caught my eye as much as JBL's Pulse 5, which looks like a modern take on a lava lamp and sounds as good as it looks. It's bulkier than most of our other picks, standing at 8.5 inches tall, but that's to its benefit. Its bright, cylindrical array of lights play a variety of animations, including spinning rings of different colors, lights that look like clouds moving through a blue sky, and pulsing dots. You can also change the tempo of the animations to better match the vibe of your room, though every tempo syncs to your current song automatically. It goes beyond just being a nice bit of decoration, it's a solid speaker, too. In my testing, it performed well across a variety of genres, including classical, synth-pop, hip-hop, and rock, with minor discrepancies on higher frequency notes but nothing too noticeable. It's not as portable as the Wonderboom, Clip, or Go, but it's notably louder and its sound is richer, plus that extra size makes for a better light show, which is the main attraction. Number 7. Edifier R1700 BT Bluetooth Bookshelf Speakers. As great as Bluetooth speakers are, I still turn to my trusty bookshelf speakers whenever I want to spin a record. Jake Sullivan, co-owner of Wooden Tooth Records in Tucson, Arizona, recommends Edifier's R1700 BT. He sells them in his shop and says customers love them. It's the perfect price point for somebody who's getting a new turntable or speaker system but doesn't want to blow their budget, he says, adding that despite their compact size, they're loud enough to fill a room. If you want to connect these speakers to a turntable that's not Bluetooth enabled, which is most of them, they have inputs for traditional stereo cables. The added Bluetooth functionality is handy for when you're not playing a record, so you can blast a playlist or two straight from your phone without having to switch to a separate speaker. The right speaker has a side panel for controlling the volume as well as bass and treble levels. There's also a wireless remote you can use to adjust those same levels, plus toggle the mute function and switch input devices. Unlike other speakers we recommend, these speakers don't have a built-in battery, so you'll need to connect the R1700 BT to a power source.